Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com always takes the toughest games each week that I ask him to cover, and we got one here, right, Joe Duffy? St. Louis at Green Bay. I'm Peter Loshak. You're watching SBR Videos. Joe Duffy, the market is all over the place with this line. I'm seeing 8.5, 9, or 9.5, and even 10 at a bunch of places, of course, juiced, but with positive odds for getting plus 10. But still, it's all over the place, and it's understandable why, right? Green Bay is awesome. We don't have to analyze them at all. But St. Louis, an improving team, right? The defense is pretty impressive. They've got a nice running game. Todd Gurley and Foles looking like they're improving on offense. So for a team with that profile, giving them, close to double digits is a scary proposition. But then again, do you ever want to bet against Green Bay in any situation when they're at home? I don't know. Joe Duffy, what's your take on this game?
Well, Peter, I think as we all know, well, you and I know, but the public doesn't seem to know because they still prefer to bet those dominant teams at home, the Green Bay Packers, and the odds makers are more than aware of it. That's why it's no surprise that undefeated teams with at least 4 straight covers, and if they're laying 5.5 or more, have covered only 35.5% of the time, because we already know that Joey Bag of Donuts definitely would prefer to bet the Packers. But what you said was probably your most important line, where you talk about Todd Gurley. Look, how to stop Aaron Rodgers or a quarterback of his quality? Keep him off the field. Right. It's a lot easier said than done. That's why teams haven't been able to really slow down these star quarterbacks. However, I think Todd Gurley is for real. A lot of people thought that if he remains healthy, he could be the rookie of the year. He was a little rusty in his first game back. Remember, he got injured early last year for Georgia, so it was the first time in about a year that he had played in a competitive football game that wasn't a preseason game. And he was a little rusty in his first game, but he was phenomenal last game. 19 carries for 146 yards. So St. Louis does not have to go out of their game plan whatsoever to keep Rodgers off of the field. And I do think that probably because of some of the reasons you said and because of some of the reasons I said, this line is just a little bit too high.
All right. And also maybe we could take a shot with the under, because last week, Green Bay got a decisive win over San Francisco, but because of the game plan that San Francisco employed, they had no problem keeping that game very low scoring, going way under, despite, Aaron Rodgers being so efficient and effective on offense. The total opened around 46.5. I think now it's down a tick, 45.5 or 46. Do you think the under might be another good play with Green Bay here this week?
Well, you bring up a good point, because, it's not like Aaron Rodgers will never be on the field. When he is on the field, St. Louis has one of the better pass rushes in the NFL. Sure. So, and again, with St. Louis, I do think that they are going to go with Gurley as long as he can stay healthy. He's a heck of a running back, and I do think that Gurley will be able to eat up some of the clock. So I would say that the under would be my lean for sure.
All right. Interesting thoughts and analysis, Joe Duffy. All right. For the side, we got 8.5, 9, or 9.5. And I guess I can even throw in 10 there for the purposes of our record keeping in these videos. For the total, we got 45.5 or 46. Officially, do you want to make it a pass or go with one of those for a pick?
Well, Peter, I've said many times that, line shopping is very important, and never underestimate the importance of a half a point. And if you can give me 10, I would definitely take the plus 10.
All right. It's a little bit of a stretch because the books that have 10 have it at, significant favorite odds, as opposed to the books that are hanging 8.5, 9, or 9.5. But for the purpose of record keeping, we can give you 10. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy, not afraid to go against Aaron Rodgers at home. Going to recommend a play on St. Louis plus 10. Of course, the number again is all over the place market-wide. Joe Duffy, tell us what you do at OffshoreInsiders.com.
Off another winning week in the NFL and in college football. Just please visit OffshoreInsiders.com. We already know we have a couple big plays up, but we got a bunch of stuff that I'm still checking some metrics. Going to be another big weekend. Just visit OffshoreInsiders.com for the details. 28 years of winning going back to the score phones.
That was great, Joe. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.